what you're saying. Nani? Get out my business, okay?
Hey, how you guys doing? My name's Heero. That's Eric. This is the Identity Booth, and we're going to be talking a little bit about the overall situation that's been going on in the stratosphere. That is the two administrations that we've had in the past year and how their responses to the pandemic is affecting us right now, and who's really to blame and who's really to thank for their effort. Now, whatever your political affiliation is, it's not so much about the politics, but more about the handling, because it's fair to say whoever handled this pandemic the best would go down in history for that. And that's all you will, and that's all you probably want to be known for. And if that's all you're known for, which is stopping a pandemic from wiping out 1 million people in America, you don't have to do anything else. So it begs the reason.
In Heero's opinion, you don't have to do anything.
No, not an opinion of mine, but that's the coattail you could ride for the rest of your term. You could ride it if you wanted to. But ultimately, the perspective here, we have a few videos to kind of talk about this. But Eric, did you want to throw something out there before we get into it?
Biden is just Trump light.
I see nothing wrong with that. Let's look into the video then. Oh. Hopefully this is in order. Let's see if I'm prepared.
President-elect Joe Biden says the Trump administration is falling far behind on vaccinations. He's promising to ramp up shots when he takes office. Operation Warp Speed set a goal of 20 million vaccinations by the end of the year. So far, only about 2 million have been given, according to CDC data.
As I long feared and warned, the effort to distribute and administer the vaccine is not progressing as it should. I've directed my team to prepare a much more aggressive effort with more federal involvement and leadership.
Let me know when you catch.
I was just marveling at how demented this guy is.
Well, I mean, demented, but that goes in the question, flies in the face of if a demented man is doing a better job than a person who's not demented, who's really demented.
No, both of them. We're not gonna argue. We're not gonna argue the point. They both old as crap.
Being old still does that doing, and I won't let you side play the fact that him being old doesn't mean that he's doing a better job than what Trump did. So in this speech,
we're gonna always disagree. We're gonna always disagree.
Oh, for sure. But in this argument that we're gonna be having today, it comes down to the matter of facts of what are the facts. And what was the Trump administration able to do versus what the Trump administration actually could physically get done. And just laying the ground rules for me, I think Trump failed us. And he tried to fail us and tried to put us in a predicament where politics outweighed social norms or science, for that matter.
I'm so glad you used those words, because my retort to that is, because of politics, he was not able to do what he could have done. We need Trump out of office, so we're not going to make sure that he has 20 million, 50, 100 million vaccines, because it's politically expedient for us to do so.
Oh, Eric,
so we'll withhold
Eric,
them.
but he not only did he have 20 million, not only did he have 30 million, he had 100 million vaccines he was able to acquire. But in the short time after receiving it, how many was he able to disseminate to the people of America?
Hold on, say that one more again.
Out of the 100 million vaccines that he was able to get for the American people, how many was he able to put in the arms of American people?
How many was he supposed? How many did he put in the arms? How many? So what you're asking is, how many people took the vaccine when it first came out?
How many people?
That's what you're asking.
No. How many people could he physically get the vaccine to? Because it wasn't.
You chose your words again. How many? He or could or did?
Okay, then let me rephrase this. How many people could actively take the vaccine after he procured 100 million of them?
How many could?
Yes.
Everybody could. Everybody.
No, that is a falsehood, and it's on the screen now. The Operation Warp Speed, which was designed to get the vaccine out to Americans at the rate
Who
that
put
they
this at? What? Let me see. Cite your source. Let me see your source.
Scroll up.
Scroll up.
Oh wait.
So everybody can see the URL.
The URL. I'll put the URL in the Discord. That's not a problem.
No, just scroll up so people can see.
I mean, this
right there. Here we go. Bloomberg. There we go. Thank you.
This isn't Bloomberg. This is NBC News.
No. Scroll down. You missed it. The byline tells you who and where.
The pictures from Bloomberg. That's what it's saying. The pictures from Bloomberg. But
Bloomberg and NBC News.
Okay, either way it goes, it still doesn't detract from the fact that at the rate that they had designed their warp speed to go.
Not the fact, the story. It doesn't detract from the story.
I'm just telling you, Eric, and you see how you're getting extremely defensive about the facts that they had already calculated. Because you won't even let me finish the fact that I'm about to state for you.
Finish.
Yeah, you can. Because
okay,
the truth is, for this setup that they had, it would have taken them 10 years to get that 100 million vaccine process out to everybody. Why? Because there wasn't a consensus amongst states, because the federal government didn't invest proper money in transportation and distribution. Remember, at first, the biggest concern about these vaccines was how we were going to store them and the longevity of them. These things combined with poor transportation shut down states, while some states were shut down, transportation coming through. He didn't call all parties necessary to come together, and it didn't help that half of his administration, even on the last week of his thing, he only filled 40% of the seats in his cabinet. And transportation department was woefully gone because this happened December 29th. We all know what happened on January 6th. So a few days later, after
January 6th again.
Well, it's literally the biggest shit stain in my living history. Like, I've lived through.
And that's unfortunate. If that's the biggest doo-doo stain in
that I've seen,
in living history, that's
from America, for sure. But pushing forward, he then didn't have Mitch McConnell's lovely wife to run his transportation, and it's fond that she jumped ship right when America needed her the most, because Trump's actions were a little bit too spicy for her, even though he's done way worse things. So that's what I'm saying.
So what and I'm gonna say these words and I'm choosing my words very carefully. In defense of Trump, I'm gonna use some Vladimir Putin words. If you guys haven't seen the flattering words that Vladimir Putin gave the 45th president of the United States.
Why would Vladimir Putin's words ever matter? A known enemy of the state.
Because Russia.
Okay.
This is what he says. This is helping your case.
Okay.
He says Trump's very talented. He's very complicated but very talented. He said, but Trump does not come from the political establishment. He's new to the political sphere. He said, but Joe Biden is a career man, somebody I can work with. Those were Vladimir Putin's words. Vladimir Putin can work with Joe Biden. I'm saying all that to ask you a question. Do you think politically, even though Vladimir Putin, we know for a fact he thinks Joe Biden's a joke, do you think the reason why it took so long is because Trump was in the way? Not because we didn't have this thing figured out a lot earlier. It's just because the political capital that Trump did not have, because he's an outsider, is what delayed
Trump being a political outsider. Trump being a political outsider had nothing to do with him taking advice from scientific communities saying just tell people to put on their mask. Literally, when we mandated the federal mask wearing mandate, let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. Let me get to that point.
We're talking about the vaccine, not mask.
No, but I'm trying to give Trump a win before the vaccines even arrived, because Germany.
Trump got no wins. He got no wins.
Yeah, but Trump, like I said, Trump literally would have gone down in history.
But he chose no wins either.
And obviously, and that's the part that amazes me. Why you won't give credit to the Biden administration for all the things that they've done?
I'm not giving those racist pricks credit for nothing.
Okay, you're moving the goalposts. Are we talking about race or are we talking about vaccines?
We're talking about both because we know who.
No. Okay, now you're being contrary to be contrary. Are we talking about race? Or are we talking about the vaccines?
Oh, we're talking about the vaccine.
Okay, let's talk about that. Okay, then we'll come back. We can talk about the racism later, but let's talk about the vaccines because the vaccines didn't have anything to do.
Okay, hold on. Before you go there, you agree with people getting the jab.
Yes.
I disagree with people getting the jab. I do agree about people wearing a mask, but I disagree about a jab.
I mean, and
so as long as everybody is aware that Heero's got the jab and Eric doesn't have the jab, then you can continue.
Okay. And we know for a fact that if we had decided to take the route of science using the examples of the world, not of, because a lot of people say Dr. Fauci doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Fine. But when multiple countries, hundreds of countries have found a way to contain this virus by just wearing masks, if Trump had just come out and done that, he would have saved hundreds of people from dying because his followers.
Okay, hold on.
I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say. But I'm not about
to ask you a question.
But let me finish the point. Let me finish the point because we know that his followers would have followed him into the pits of hell because they did it on January 6th, so they would have done it if they told him.
Are we moving the goalposts? Are we talking about vaccines? Or are we talking about January 6th?
No, you're absolutely right. We're talking about vaccines.
Okay. All right, cool. So let's not take political jabs. The question I was gonna ask though is a multifaceted question. First part: can Trump make people put on a mask?
Yes.
Physically make people wear a mask?
Legally, yes.
No, that's not what I asked. I said, can he physically make them put on a mask?
If they step on federal property, yes.
No, it's a yes or no question.
Yes, he can.
Can he physically?
Can he physically go up to every single person and make them put on a mask? Is that what you're asking me?
Using his authority, that's what we're talking about. Can he physically make people put on a mask, barring federal property? Yes or no?
No, because that's out of his jurisdiction. Then he doesn't have the authority.
Okay, pause.
He doesn't have the authority.
No. Pause. Okay, so pause.
Okay.
Did the cities, municipalities, counties put out mask mandates? The major cities, municipalities, and counties put out mask mandates for interior spaces.
Sure, some of them did.
The majority of them did, and this is how I know that.
No, it's not. It wasn't
okay, no. So these are the places that I traveled.
Okay.
In 2020, I went to New Orleans, Shreveport, Covington. It's all kind of a metropolitan area. You know what? I put on a mask when I was there, hanging out in those places. Except for 6th Street. 6th Street they don't have roads. It's like Vegas. But I did go to Vegas last year, twice. You know what I had to do? I had to put on a mask. Mask when I was in the Uber. A mask when I entered the hotel talking to the people. The only time I could not wear a mask was in my own room. When I was on the strip and I entered in the building, put on a mask. Okay, so Vegas had mask mandates. These are cities, these are major cities. Dallas County. Shout out to Mayor Eric. Mask mandate for the entire county of Dallas. Mask mandate. If you went into a building, you had to wear a mask.
Okay.
Businesses today, after the jab, after all that Governor Abbott says, still have signs on their door that you enter the building, you must have a mask on. And when you walk in the building, everybody has masks on. Sure. Wait a minute. I thought the pandemic over. Even the president himself seems to believe that the pandemic's over.
So saying. Are you saying that private companies don't have the right to protect their own coworkers because it's their property? They can mandate whatever they want.
That's not. No, that's what I'm saying. These private companies did mandate the mask despite what the federal government, quote unquote, in Heero's words, failed to push. It doesn't matter what the federal government
I'm confused
says.
What you're arguing, or your point that you're trying to argue.
Yes, I know. It's okay. But here's the problem. Because the cities, counties, and municipalities ultimately had the responsibility to make sure that the masks were done, why are we saying it's Trump's fault that people didn't put on a mask? It's not his fault. Because today, hold on. Because today, we have the jab. The CDC's come out with recommendations, And people are not listening to the CDC. They're saying, in my business, you better put on a mask. People are still wearing masks. Thank God. There's
because how are they supposed to guarantee that everyone in the store is vaccinated?
They can't.
So the best thing to do is it's called preventative care. That's what it's called.
And you and I agree there.
So
what I'm saying is giving President Biden credit for something that was already happening, and it's really, at the end of the day, he can say whatever he wants. It's still on the states. If we're gonna give anybody, let's give the governors. Let's give the mayors.
It's not on the states. Because he put in a federal mandate, and guess what?
Where does federal apply?
Let me finish this. And the major thing that caused this pandemic to explode was because people were at airports traveling across the country, and those federal mandates minimized transmission in these buildings and at these airports.
Nope, not true.
So you say
who owns the airport?
Who you cannot get on a plane without federal FAA mandates.
No. It's not FAA issue. Who owns the airport?
It doesn't matter who owns the airport. You cannot. How are they operated?
How are they operated? This is the federal.
Listen to our subscriber. Federal. You just said federal.
Listen to what I'm going to say. The Federal Aviation Administration.
Who's over the federal government? Who's over the federal government?
I'm going to finish my thought.
Okay, go
because
ahead.
You're interrupting. The Federal Aviation Administration is responsible for what? Flights.
Aviation.
Flights. Who owns the building?
Who cares?
That people go in. No, you don't care because it's not beneficial for your argument right
Okay,
now.
Who owns the building? Tell me. Get to the point. Who owns the building?
Not the FAA. They don't own airports.
Who owns the building? Who owns airports?
Who owns the building? Private investors.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
This
is land and real estate.
Okay,
and
okay.
Again, private entities are saying, put on the mask.
And all I'm saying is private property can still be ran, and if they run federal agencies out of those buildings, they are being commandeered for federal rules and bylaws and guidelines. Just like any building they commandeer for use, they didn't build it on the purpose of it being a federal building, but if they rent it out, guess what? That territory becomes federal property at that point. So at that point, they have to follow the rules. And the moment, and this is just science, the moment we put in these mask mandates on a federal level, we saw a statistical dropout of the pandemic virus transaction.
Because nobody was flying. People are afraid to get on airplanes, not because they stopped
Eric,
airplanes.
I literally got on a plane. I literally got on a plane twice already.
And that's your fault. I've been on a plane way more than that.
Okay, and that's to speak to what? All I'm saying is if Trump had done what Biden had done, he'd be known as a national hero.
Man,
and to our point, and to the point,
get out of here.
To the point of legend killer, there's literally records of Trump saying he doesn't believe in a vaccine, he doesn't believe in a mask, and he says put bleach in your skin. So
that's all good. But we will give Biden quote unquote credit
for doing the job that he was asked to do.
Bless your whole life, bro.
Get COVID under control. So is COVID not under control right now, Eric?
No. What are you talking about?
Compared to who? Because I know
COVID is a real thing here. Right?
No, it's absolutely real.
You have to get the jab every year for it now.
Forever. I mean, if that's the consequences of the situation,
it's never going away.
No, absolutely. But guess what?
Something that had a 99.97 survival rate.
Don't state false facts. State the facts correct. State the facts correctly.
How can a fact be false? How can a fact be false?
State the fact correctly. You're misrepresenting the fact. 99% of what? Of what? 99% of people who do not have comorbidities.
99
core morbidities. You're not mentioning the core
total.
You're not mentioning no. That is not accurate. That is literally not accurate.
Rate. Not to you.
It's not me. It's the CDC.
Put it up. Pull it up.
You just quoted
Pull
it.
it
You
up.
bring it up. You quoted it.
I don't control the screen.
Send me anything you know to send me anything you want me to put up. But my whole point is, you don't want to give credit, and because you don't want to give credit,
there's no credit to give.
So
it's literally called Operation Warp Speed,
and it went slow as molasses, and that's why the Biden administration had to jump on.
No. How long does it take to get a vaccine through clinical trials? No. Before you answer, Mr. Forensic Pathologist, Mr. Master's Degree, Mr. Histocompatibility Expert, please tell the listening audience how long it takes for a vaccine to get through clinical human trial.
It's ongoing.
That's an open-ended answer.
Because
if the camera wasn't on, Heero would tell you
want to know the answer.
At least how many months?
Because the fact is, it's open-ended. Because the fact is, the polio vaccine that was invented in 1970 is not the same vaccine we're using today.
Freaking numbing response. If Heero wasn't on the camera, Heero would tell you an honest answer is 18 months to 3 years. That would be his knee-jerk honest answer.
To make sure that the efficacy rate.
Non-answer.
You're mad that I'm giving you the facts that you don't like.
No.
It's the efficacy. That you didn't pose the question correctly. You did not pose the question correctly.
Oh, okay.
Pose the question.
Technicalities. You know
exactly
I answered the question.
Okay, and I just told you, if you want to know the efficacy rate,
is open-ended. I didn't ask for an efficacy rate.
But ultimately, even if you want to go 2 years, this wasn't a vaccine. This was a mRNA booster, if you want to call it vaccine, to make it more palatable to conversate with other people. But that's what
the CDC called it.
But this type of research and this type of thing has been ongoing, and people have known about it for years. So we didn't need to take those extra steps. We didn't need to take those extra steps because the research had already been done. That's the purpose of doing
so much so that now we have rare heart inflammation and blood clots.
And of course, they're doing the proper thing they need to do to investigate it. And if you're going to use less than 0.00001% of the population to justify removing something that has saved hundreds of people, then you know that your argument is coming from a wrong point of perspective.
Yeah, just like 99.97% of people have recovered from the.
And if you were stating that fact correctly, then you would know that that was for people who didn't have comorbidities, because of course they would be able.
Okay, cool. So comorbidities.
Eric, why are you upset about the facts? I'm not upset about the facts.
You just have you live in a completely different leftist world where the actual facts.
You see how he brought politics into this? You see how he brought politics into this?
This is a political
It's a
debate.
leftist
What
thing.
are you talking
It's
about?
a leftist
it literally
thing.
says Trump administration on the screen. So we're talking about Biden versus Trump and who gets credit. You're giving Biden credit. That's absolutely foolish.
I'm giving Biden credit because the first vaccines and all these shots came out, and they were able to get them out to the people. He was able to get 100 million people vaccinated within the first 100 days.
Right, listen, I'm gonna tell you this. You better start choosing your words very carefully in every conversation, because you know what I'm finna start doing? Or make sure y'all go over and subscribe to the Identity Booth, because what I'm finna start doing on the Facts Only is I'm finna record every single phone conversation Heero and I have. The person that Heero is on the phone ain't the person y'all see on the screen. If I recorded half the things that he said, y'all would think way different. Right now.
All I'm saying is I brought you the facts that you wanted.
No. And I brought you the facts that you disagreed with.
But unfortunately, your facts don't agree or align with science.
And then neither do yours. Thank you.
I literally had 4 articles up. I literally have 4 articles up.
I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. Make sure y'all go over to the IG and the TikTok. I'm gonna slap all of this information up here. It's very simple.
Go ahead, Eric. Eric's not gonna admit it because he just doesn't like.
I can't admit it. I can't actually, in good conscience, admit that.
You can't admit that an administration did a good job. So then answer this.
I have not seen a good job to
answer this one question. Answer this one question, and I'll drop it forever. Who would you give props to for the response for this COVID out? You would give props to Trump.
Yeah, just because it doesn't make sense to give to Biden. He hasn't done anything at all.
All right. Hey, Eric, where can they find us? Okay.
You can find us right here. If you're still listening, if you're not pissed off by what I said, make sure you go down and hit that button. If you rock with Heero, go down and click the button. If you rock with me, go down and click the button. If you don't, make sure you go down in that comment section. I promise I'll come there and I will smoke anybody who got anything negative to say about what I'm saying. And if you say something negative about what Heero's saying, I'm going to smoke you there too. Then you go over, to our sister channel because we love Twitch. Yep. Shout out to Twitch. Shout out to Daddy Bezos for putting some of them coins in this bucket that we're trying to redistribute like a real group of people. Anyway, we can go on over to this goddamn YouTube, sub over there. We chugging along on YouTube trying to get to 1,000 subs. But we need to go ahead and make sure y'all share this, like it, all that, man. Go on over there and do that. Then go over to the TikTok and our IG, be looking out for the real science, not that Hufflepuff that your boy Heero talking about.
Hufflepuff will save your life. But for whatever it's worth, hey, we appreciate you guys joining us for the segment. And Eric, I love you, man.
I love you too,
I love you, bro. But we want to make sure that you guys do whatever necessary research you want to. No matter where you fall on this, make sure you consult a medical professional about questions you have about COVID and things of that nature. Do your due diligence to protect yourself and your life. And hey, if you find out something new, or if your doctor tells you that Hufflepuff does work, come back and tell us, because I want to laugh. I want to laugh.
It sounds like Heero telling you to go inject that Hufflepuff in your veins or something.
Hey, I'm out here. We loving it, man. We are loving it. Let's go. Where the hell are we?
But it's so hard to find through the daily grind. Been working overtime. And I'm sleep deprived, shorty on my line and we fuss and fight. Seems like every night, don't care who's wrong or right. I hope the end is sight, slow it down.